Hey all, it's Alma with the Cat's Pajamas, and today I want to show you how to create this simple and easy watercolor card using our Watercolor Basic stamp set. We'll be using the Viking Bunny and the sentiment from the Bunnies in Flight stamp set. I use Marvy black ink to stamp the bunny and cut him out. I'll start by giving the bunny some overall color using 10% cool gray. Next, I'll add a little depth using the 20% cool gray where the darker part of the bunny would be. So that's a little bit on his ears to show they're behind the bunny, around the shield, under his nose, under his hat. And then I'm going to go straight to deepen the shadows even more using 50% cool gray. That makes him pop a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit on his nose as well. And then I'm going to add a little 30% gray just to blend out that 50%. Then I'm going to add some black to his nose, just a wee bit. And then take the 50% gray and blend that right in. So cute. Now I'm going to do the same for the center of his shield. First the 50% gray with a little bit of black, and then blend with the 30%. Now let's do the dragon, the parts that are yellow. First, a base of Y17. First the fire, then his helmet, then the sword, then his belly, and the under part of his tail, and then the shield. Now I'm going to add in the shadow area some YR23. And for some fun, with YR16, I'm going to add some scales to his belly. And then use it to darken up the rest of those yellow areas. Now some red. I think I just want that in the shield, the scabbard, and the fire. I'll deepen it with a little bit of R17. I'm liking the way this looks, but I think I want the bunny to pop more. I'm going to add a touch of 50% cool gray to the shadows, feathering that out. And now for the dragon. Overall, I'm going to use B02, and now the medium tone, which is BG05. I think this dragon is a little light, so I'm going to darken him up quite a bit. So I'm going to be using B05. Well, I think I want some texture on him, so I'm going to draw in some scales, or little humps. Now he's looking pretty cool, but I think that I want the scales to look more like humps. And then I'm going to use my blender tool and blend some of that color away so that it doesn't quite look like scales, more like humps. Loving the way he looks. He's so cute. Like that texture too. So we'll be using the watercolor basics for the base of the card, and this set has a lot of bold solids. And ink tends to beat up on stamps that are bold solids. So here's a tip. After you put the stamp on the block, just run the stamp over the area where your thumb is. And that removes some of the slickness of the stamp, and the ink adheres better. And the more you use the stamp, the better impression. Okay, ready? Let's stamp. Fold a 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece of white cardstock in half for the base of the card. I like to open up the card so I only have one layer to stamp on. And I start with the Marvy yellow on this cool circle stamp that I love so much. Very nice. Now let's add a bit of color. Take the Marvy Brilliant Yellow and pat it all over the stamp. Now take Marvy Orange and just add it to parts of the stamp. And just to soften up some of those lines, spritz with a little water and stamp over the yellow circle. I like the layers of colors and the different texture. Now take this big splotch from the watercolor basic stamp. You can see I've used it before, but I'm going to rub it along my thumb again, just for good measure. And for this stamp, I'll use Marvy Red. And I'm going to spritz it with a little bit of water as well. Looks pretty cool. And now the sentiment using Marvy Black. I like using Marvy Black when I color with Copics because it's a water-based ink and the solvent in the Copics won't dissolve it. Now I didn't press down hard enough in the center of the stamp, but I'm going to add some color using Copics so you won't even notice. The sentiment is great because it has these areas you can put color into to bring in color from other parts of your card. Now you can see I got a little smudge above the sentiment, so I'm going to add a couple of rhinestones to cover them. I have my stash of clear rhinestones, and I can make them match the blue in the sentiment just by coloring with the same Copics. Once they dry, I can add them to my card. Now let's add the dragon with a little bit of foam tape, because foam tape always makes everything more special. And then I'm just going to position it on top of that splotch. So it's kind of pointing toward the sentiment. I like how the watercolor circle acts as a frame for the dragon. Really makes him stand out. And now let's deal with that little smudge. A little rhinestone to cover it. and a couple of friends, and he's done. Super cute. I hope you like it. All the stamps are found at the cat's pajamas. I hope you try it. Have a great day.